Texas Tech goes into Austin and wins a home game. Jeff, they went into Austin and won a home game. There were defense chants when Texas had the ball down the stretch. There were air ball chants in the second half when Andrew Jones missed a shot. What do you make of Tech's win and Tech's sweep of Chris Beard and the Texas Longhorns?
Can you read this, Robert? Can you
read
it
this? It says West Texas Tough. I hope everybody on YouTube can read it.
West Texas Tough. Somebody gave me this when I was down in Lubbock a couple of weeks ago, and it's true, man. Like, listen, the culture there is all about toughness, and the culture has been built. I tweeted this. Chris Beard is trying to build a culture in Texas. He left one that was already built, whether it was, 50% him, 60% him, 40% Mark Adams, 60, whatever it was, it didn't matter. They did it together.
No question.
And yes, he left. But the fact of the matter is Mark Adams has done such an incredible job because he's not had a full complement of players pretty much all year. Today, it was no Kevin McCullough, who I think is their most valuable player. He had 19 in their first meeting. He orchestrates the offense. He runs the offense when you need him to. He's a great defender. He's an intangible guy. He brings everything to the table. But, ultimately, it's their defense. And it was their defense again today. What, they give up 55 points today? And, Clarence Nadolny was awesome today. And that just shows their culture and their next man up kind of mantra. But they've now swept, think about this, they've swept Texas and former coach Chris Beard. They've swept Baylor, and they've swept West Virginia this year. If you had told any of us that they do that this year, what would the odds have been on that? 1,000,000 to 1?
Not good. Not good. I don't think Bet Rivers would have given that odds. We don't need to bankrupt. We don't need to bankrupt the sports book. Steve, you've coached against these guys in these programs. I'm curious, how strange is it to go on the road like Texas Tech did and be playing in front of a crowd that was, it was 50-50 at minimum Texas fans. It felt like a neutral court.
Yeah, I when I saw that and I saw the progression of it where it started early this morning, you people started talking about it, about Texas Tech fans buying those tickets. And I just started. The only thing I could maybe compare it to is maybe sometimes Kentucky, the way they could fill up arenas sometimes, or the way they would snatch up tournament tickets at the SEC. But even Iowa State fans would snatch them up in the Big 12 tournament as you kept winning from that standpoint. But never seen anything like that in that high level of game to where you're at home. It was what Fran Fraschilla said. It had a Big 12 semifinal tournament feel where it's 50% rooting for this team, 50% rooting for this team, and may the best team win. And without McCullough, because I agree, he's the heart and soul of that team. But you have, like Clarence Nadolny as a junior, he has found a niche off the bench. And he had a huge offensive rebound late.
Oh, huge.
Terrence Shannon, he brings an edge and a toughness and a swagger to that team. But a huge key, again, you go back to the transfer portal, Bryson Williams, man. They've got a legit post threat and a guy that can step out and spread you out. And he's a big time player.
You know what I'm worried about with this Texas Tech team, and I'm curious if you guys agree with me. It's, again, we're kind of banging the same drum as the point guard play, right? Down the stretch, I think they gave up a late 9-0 run when Texas started throwing on a little bit of pressure. Texas Tech started throwing the ball all over the place, making some bad decisions. They win and they thrive on the fact that they have basically 5 dudes that are interchangeable, and they go 9 deep with 5 dudes that are interchangeable, right? Everybody's the same size. They all kind of do the same thing. But that kind of limits what they can be a little bit offensively, because you don't have that guy, Steve, that can kind of break down an offense, that can get you set up, that quote unquote pure point guard on the roster. Does that worry you at all?
Well, it did today, and I think we were texting at the time from that standpoint, to where I think Texas, man, they really, really put their full court pressure, face guard, double team, trapping, and Texas Tech was sloppy with the ball, not only in the backcourt, not strong with the ball, turn it over, but also in the front court. And I think Texas left some points out there at the free throw line, around the rim late, plays that in a game like that, you got to get everything, especially when you get down 8, 9, 10 that late in the game. But credit Texas Tech. their ability and their toughness level and their character to win in big moments. It starts with Mark, but obviously Terrence Shannon, Kevin didn't play today, but he's still heartbeat of that team. Bryson Williams, Nadolny. I mean, you go down the line. Those guys were terrific today. And to go in there and sweep Texas and win that game today, not only keeps them in the race for Big 12 championship, they're 2 back with Kansas. I don't think they'll catch them, though their schedule, I think they'll win out. I just don't think Kansas may lose more than 1. It does give them a chance, I think, like we touched a minute ago, to be a 2 seed, though.
Mark Adams, coach of the year. Mark Adams, coach of the year today. I know our producer Dagan rips on me all the time because I'm constantly changing my coach of the year pick. It was Ed Cooley, 5 days ago before they lost them. But that was before they lose at home to Villanova. And then Mark Adams and Texas Tech go to Austin and sweep the Longhorns. Things can change quickly. I think they have. But to me, Mark Adams is the front runner, because nobody in hell thought that they were going to do anything close to this other than the people in Lubbock. Those fans are crazy. They thought they would do this, but nobody else did.
Yeah, the only thing I would say to that,
the one thing when you really look at their roster, though, and I think, Jeff, you may have tweeted this and talked about this, or Rob, and maybe it was Jeff, when you were talking about the culture, like, it doesn't matter. It's 50-50. Who cares, right? It's there and it's real. The fans, the way they play. But you look at the guys they return: Shannon, McCullough, Santos Silva. That is important. And man, just like Kentucky, they filled them in with, boy, we hit it on the boy from Oral Roberts, Urbana, Bryson Williams. I mean, that's huge. And the thing about Texas Tech, you got to jump on board or you're not going to make it.